WMAY.
All right, it is primary day here on Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop, and we've been talking with various candidates for a variety of offices. And joining us now is a Republican candidate for the 15th Congressional District, Rodney Davis. Congressman, thanks for taking time in these final few hours of polls being open. What do you have to say to voters? Good morning.
Hey, thanks, Greg. Great. Thanks for having me on. I just want to say, get out and vote. It's new to everybody here. Have an election in June. So make sure everybody knows it's election day. That's our goal. And to get out and vote. And if you're going to vote in the Republican primary, which I hope you do, we need to send a message to Democrats like J.B. Pritzker that enough is enough, and to Joe Biden that enough is enough. But I need your vote. I'm the only member of Congress who lives in this new 15th district. I'm looking forward to taking our conservative values and core values and principles back to Washington, and also governing. So if you want me to go back to Washington, I need your vote today.
What do you think are some of the major issues that your constituents are hearing about in the ads that separates you from the congresswoman that is challenging you? And, getting away from some of the surface level stuff, what about the deep policy issues that are really impacting people? What sets the two of you apart?
Well, I knocked on doors for 3.5 hours on Saturday. Have you heard about it? I topped my truck off yesterday or 2 days ago at the gas station. It had a half a tank. It still cost me $91. Families can't afford this hit to their budget. Grocery carts that used to cost $100 now cost $200. And this is all because Joe Biden and even J.B. Pritzker and the Democrats, what they don't want to do is address energy issues. They call it transitory. When Democrats use big words, it means it costs families money. And in the end, they want this pain on American families because they want us to rely less on coal, on nuclear energy, on natural gas. And unfortunately, the only thing that's going to change it is a change in leadership in Washington and a change in leadership in Illinois, too. I'm looking forward to going back and helping to write legislation because I'm a governing Republican. That legislation is going to force the Biden administration to invest in American energy so that our gas prices, our energy prices can go down.
Congressman Rodney Davis with us here on primary day. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Just before you came on, there was an ad from your opponent talking about red flag laws. Anything you want to clear up there?
I love it when my opponent lies about me, which is, often in the ads. And when you hear about red flag laws, the only reason we debated as Republican any red flags after El Paso and Las Vegas was because President Trump asked us to. But in the end, there was not a solution that we could have gotten that would have protected the constitutional rights of every single American, which is why I voted against the Democrats' package this past week. Look, I have seen what it's like to be shot at. 5 years ago on a baseball field, I ran from bullets from a crazed gunman who was screaming health care at us because he disagreed with what we were doing to fix Obamacare. And at that time, my thoughts on the Second Amendment were solidified. I'm a concealed carry licensee, but I could not have taken my gun legally from the Capitol complex through Washington to Virginia to be able to protect myself and others that day. Every American family deserves a right to protect themselves. I take advantage of that when I'm here in Illinois, and I think everyone in the country should have that same right.
Congressman, we, of course, live in Illinois. If you look at the map, when it comes to abortion laws, Illinois has very, very liberal access to abortion laws. On a federal level, do you see that the prospect of bringing up any kind of federal abortion law is possible, and where would you stand on such a thing?
Well, the good news is we're going to keep winning for the pro-life movement. It was a big day to see the Supreme Court do what we've wished it would do for 50 years. This has just been a great week for conservative values, states' rights values. Our goal is to make sure that the states, that we change the way they operate. And long term, I'm going to push whatever legislation we can, whatever constitutional amendments we can to ensure that this decision, this Dobbs decision, continues to be codified. But in the short term, what we have to do is change Illinois, because unfortunately, with the Supreme Court decision, nothing's going to change in Illinois. We have Republicans and Democrats that have allowed abortions to be paid for by your tax dollars. The majority of Americans don't support that. That's why we have to elect leaders in Illinois that are going to protect life. And that's what I'm going to do when I win this primary today. My goal tomorrow is to help Republicans up and down the ticket get elected to Congress and get elected to every office in Illinois.
Congressman, finally here, we got the poll question at WMAY.com/poll. Some people say that the Supreme Court needs to be reformed, not getting rulings that they like. Do you see that prospect, and where do you stand on that issue?
No, that's a big no. Just because you don't like a decision coming out of the Supreme Court doesn't mean you change the rules. I used to coach football and baseball for kids, and just because we lost a game didn't mean I wanted to go change the rules. No, we wanted to get better. We wanted to do what we could to win, and that's what it takes. Republicans won elections. President Trump won the election, and partially in 2016, the reason why he won was because voters said, I don't want liberal Supreme Court justices. And if Democrats want to change the makeup of the Supreme Court, they got to win the presidency. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that never happens again.
Congressman Rodney Davis, final, closing arguments for those who are either heading to the polls right now or going to go after work or during their lunch break. Your final closing statement here.
Hey, look, I've been honored to serve you in Congress now for 9 years. We've got a lot of work to do. There's nobody who fights Democrats harder than I do. That's why Nancy Pelosi has spent millions trying to beat me over the last few years. You've seen that. I don't believe the lies. You know I'm a core valued conservative, 100% pro-life voting record, a record with the NRA, and protecting our Second Amendment. And I've got a great record to run on, writing farm bills that are conservative, infrastructure bills that are conservative, student loan debt repayment programs that are Republican and conservative ideas. You want someone who's going to go out there and fix Washington in the way that we need it to be fixed, like the Supreme Court did this year? I'm the person you need to vote for. Vote for Rodney Davis. Polls close at 7 o'clock tonight, June 28th. Go vote today.
Congressman Rodney Davis, greatly appreciate your time. I imagine we'll talk again soon, and safe travels today.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMA.